One of my favorite questions is, what color kitchen are you going to install in this house? And they're like, what? I'm like, no, what color kitchen are you going to put here? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you said you might rehab it instead of sell it to me. What color kitchen are you going to put here? And it just shows that no one's ready to, no one really wants to rehab it.
What I'm interested to hear is you probably talk to a lot of your students, a lot of your people in your community who are looking at this strategy. And now we're hearing so much about the MLS or so much about motivated sellers. There's no inventory. There's so much competition. Because there's no inventory, prices are going up. There's 10 other buyers at every door. And so the value prop that you're giving is, look, we're going to focus on this community who's going to be a motivated seller versus, so help me understand the kind of epiphany that your students are experiencing when they're like, oh my God, this is working. Why haven't I been doing this all the time versus fighting over all these other leads, like vacant house leads or out of town landlord leads?
Yep, great question. And so let's talk about daughter Judy for a second, right? Daughter Judy is the one that's closest to mom that's been helping out with all the problems. And so daughter Judy is getting, you ever hear the term being quartered, where the horses pull you in 4 different directions when they're killing you? Daughter Judy's, she's being quartered. So she just moved, you said Henri, I love that word. You just moved Henri mom into senior living. She still has needs. You're being pulled that way. You are, the community needs their money and all the paperwork filled out. You're being pulled that way. You've got the sisters and brothers that live on average, listen to this, 400 miles away that question everything you're doing. And usually daughter Judy is still married to somebody that's needy and has, her life didn't stop just because this happened, right? So they're being pulled 4 different directions. And so to answer your question, why would somebody do this when the market's good? Here's why. When the realtor walks in, remember, okay, so the doctor said mom has to move out of her forever home into senior living. That's already a blow. Second thing, it's how much a month? Second blow. Third thing, it's you want me to clean this place out and rehab it before I list it? You said, Josh, the market is as good as it's ever been, right? I've been in real estate 22 years. It's the best retail market I've ever seen. What doesn't happen is, and we're forgetting the front part, these houses are not anywhere close to retail ready, and they're usually full of stuff. Right. So when you live on average 400 miles away, what happens is they come in day one, they take the heirlooms. The heirlooms leave in 10 minutes. Like the valuable stuff is gone. And what's left after that is, I can say crap. It's crap. Yeah. It's junk.
But it's the stuff mom really doesn't want to let go of either.
Nope. No, it's, oh my gosh, it's so emotional, right? And so those adult children, they all have to fly into town. They all have to pick out their heirlooms. And then they decide, I love to catch a family on weekend number 3 when they're taking stuff out of the basement and putting it into the dumpster. They realize, oh, what are we doing? And if I can catch them early, I let them know that they don't have to do that. So even though the retail market's good, here's what's not good. Me and you are in the business. How easy is it to find competent contractors right now?
Yeah, they're busy. They're busy.
And the good ones, are they charging you a little bit, or are they charging you more than they used to?
Well, if they're good, they know their value, they're charging a premium for sure.
Right. So I think the focus is just shifted, right? Yes, the retail market's good, but I think how to get to the retail sale has gotten harder because the market's so good. And these families who already live out of, remember, this is not their own house. This is mom's house in a moment where they need money. So who the heck is going to spend? Remember me and you, Josh, we're going, who's paying $5,000 a month? Well, who's throwing 40, 50 grand into mom's house to rehab it? Because that's what the realtor said we need to do to get that Zillow number. Yeah.
And then hopefully, you got to wait till it sells to get your money back. And then hopefully not fight with your brother and your sister-in-law over the $45,000 that you put into the house when all the proceeds come, right? I've heard those stories 100 times.
Josh, they're arguing over who gets the crock pot, the skillet. They're arguing over who gets mom's skillet. Right. Do you think they're going to argue over the rehab?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. One of my favorite questions is, what color kitchen are you going to install in this house? And they're like, what? I'm like, no, what color kitchen are you going to put here? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you said you might rehab it instead of sell it to me. What color kitchen are you going to put here? And it just shows that no one's ready to, no one really wants to rehab it. And by the way, Josh, if these families wanted to do an HGTV show on this house, that lead would have never came to me. They would have just did it. Right? For them to get into my web means that these families don't want to nobody wants to get the house cleaned out. Nobody wants to get the house retail ready. Nobody, and if they do, they're probably going in different directions anyway. I'm telling you, today's adult children with their lives so busy and all this other stuff they're helping their mom with, they love the mom's house easy button because they don't have to, we still treat people fair. This is all above board. In fact, that's probably one of my biggest problems is that I can't just have any investor in every city.
Yeah.
And they really have to go through this training with me to understand all the nuance of what's going on with these families. And I need good investors nationwide. So that's like my takeaway. It's like, this is worth your time, because if you do it right, you can have referring these 10 different people who will refer you their business. They're going to use you as a tool from now on if you can gain their trust. And that's how valuable this could be.